Voiceover Social.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm okay. Yes, I'm fine.
Hello to everyone listening.
Yes, hello, listeners. We like listeners.
We do. We're very grateful for you.
Thank you for listening.
Yes. How are you, Rob?
I'm fine.
You been up to anything fun?
No.
Oh.
It's just been going to work and moaning about how hot it is.
I mean, we are currently sat in Rob's studio and, it's warmer than mine.
Yeah, it's pushing 28 Celsius at the moment.
It's a bit toasty, isn't it?
And the sun hasn't hit the back of the house yet.
No, this is the cool temperature for your studio, so that's
is.
fun. We have had lots of socials going on, though. There's been so many of them going around the country and into Europe as well. We've had
lots.
I genuinely lost count of how many socials have happened in the last month. There's been all sorts. There's been some lovely in-person ones and there's been a couple of online ones as well.
Indeed. Indeed.
3 online ones. So, if anybody wants to join one of our socials, we have regular monthly online social, which anybody's welcome to join, and lots of in-person ones scattered around the UK and Europe, and all the details are on our website. We will list the up-and-coming ones at the end of the show, or I guess the best way to find out what's coming up is to sign up to the newsletter. So vosocial.com/newsletter. And we'll let you know when they're all happening.
That's a remarkably logical web address.
Isn't it?
Yes, well done.
It's like somebody thought about what they were doing and put a plan in place and all that.
Blimey.
It's like one of us knows what to do with websites.
Yes. So what are we doing today in the podcast?
I'm so excited that we have got a wonderful guest, Lizzie Jobling.
Hooray!
Yay! Lizzie has been voice acting for
7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years. She's worked with us both. She's absolutely fabulous. She is full of energy and has got some incredibly good advice for people looking to start in their VO career. We thought it would be a nice follow on after talking to Anna last month with the Best Newcomer Award. And so Lizzie specialises in helping people get started in VO with her coaching. But she is our voice actor as well.
And she has lots and lots and lots of very interesting things to say.
She does.
So I think we should just crack on with the interview. With it? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am an 100% AI voiceover. And I am being put out of business by thevoicefinder.com. Play sad music. It's just so easy for producers and casting directors to find and get in touch with voiceover artists on the Voice Finder's online directory that they have stopped using me altogether. It's disgusting. How is a robot like me supposed to earn an honest living now? If you are a human voiceover artist, please do not sign up for a 1-month free trial at thevoicefinder.com. Pretty please. Message terminated.
So, Lizzie, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are and what you do.
Oh, well, I am Lizzie Jobling and I'm a voice actor and a voiceover business speciality coach. I've been a full-time VO for just over 7 years now and been coaching for 5. And Rob was at the start of my journey way back.
I was. I did look in my diary to see when it was, and it was 2018. Pre-lockdown, it was the olden days.
It was ancient times, isn't it? Pre-lockdown.
It does. It's strange because it feels like a new life and one that I've always had all at the same time. So it's quite a weird kind of time sucked in thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So tell us about your path into VO. What were you kind of doing before and what attracted you to VO in the first place, and how did you go about actually getting in there?
So I used to work in social care. I used to work with disadvantaged families and children and adults with special needs. I had my son really young, and then he was diagnosed with autism when he was about 7. And it sort of threw me into the special needs social care world and evidently helped me hide my own autism. So that was a bonus. So I started working in special needs and social care. And after I had my daughter, I had quite a bad bout of postnatal depression, and in general, life was just getting a bit too much. And my ex-husband, my now ex-husband, who is quite a successful creative art director, he had suggested that I look into voiceover work because I've always been really good at voices, as we all say. I've always been quite good at mimicking people / taking the piss and that sort of thing. But I used to just prat around the house doing voices, as you do. And he had loosely worked with voiceovers in his work. And he said, you're much better than some of the people that I've worked with. You should really look at this. And I thought, is that a thing? Is that a thing? Well, it turns out it's a massive thing, actually. And I've built my career on it. So I spoke to a close friend of mine who's an actress. And I said, how would you advise going about this? And she said, well, I know the guys over at the Showreel in London. You could just tap them up, go down, see what they've got to offer. So that was my first port of call, was the Showreel with JP, which is, quite common. And then from there, I just did, the first day that I walked into the studio, because I've never had any acting training, I've never done anything like that. I the first time I was in the studio behind the mic with a script, I thought, I've arrived home. Finally, I found something half decent at, and I thought I reckon I could do this. And so I spent a year training, all manner of different training, all different coaches. And then I did other stuff like business training outside of voiceover, the psychology of money. I mean, you name it, I did it. I'd go all in. And so I spent about a year training, and I saved up quite a few months' salary from my job, quit my job, marketed my arse off, continued training. And after probably about a year and a half to 2 years, I had a lot of people approaching me, how'd you get into voiceover? Because they could see what looked like quite quick success, I guess. They didn't know that I'd sat there sending sometimes 400, 500 emails a day in the first early days just to push myself out there. But I'm a bit of a maniac like that. And one week I totted up that I'd given away hours upon hours of information that not only had I learned, but I'd paid for and invested a lot of time and a lot of money learning. And at this point, I'd been sort of doing the voiceover thing for a year and a half. And I thought, there's a gap in the market here, because you can find a vocal coach. Yeah. You can find a vocal coach really easily. I found loads. But there wasn't like how do I get into voiceover one-stop shop kind of place? Well, there is, obviously, but the type of learning that I wanted, and I could tell that other people wanted, was a one-to-one in person from the start to the end. If you would say, how do I get into voiceover? Well, I believe you do X, Y, Z and go. So I built the course, and I've built upon that ever since. And now I'm just trying to juggle being a full-time voiceover and doing the coaching, because it's kind of taken off a little bit, but I will not complain.
No, that's great. Really cool. It's really interesting. You talk about just seeing the need, I think is for the coaching. I think it is really important to acknowledge that not one style of coaching will suit every type of person. And I think that's one of the joys of having lots of different people offering different styles of, like, some people really suit the self-paced, log on and do your own thing kind of stuff. Some people are brilliant at that. I struggle with it because the self-discipline element of that sometimes I find really difficult. Yeah, it's nice having the one-to-one stuff, but I also really get a lot out of the group coaching stuff as well. So I get different people have different affinities to different styles.
One of the things that I noticed in I guess the demographic of people that come to me for coaching is they're the sorts of people that want to say, right, you've just said this thing. Can you unpick that a bit more? Can you tell me a bit more about that? And in other styles of training that are offered, you can't. That's not always an option. Yeah. And so I think the learning style of the individual can really be taken into more account if you're just in front of the person, which is one of my selling points.
I mean, I find that a lot as well with leading webinars for BW and for Growth for the Brain. I still find a significant number of people come to me for one-to-ones after having done the webinars, because they just learn better on that one-to-one model than they do kind of sitting in that group. And just being able to offer that as a service, it just means that you are going to catch more people. And at the end of the day, creative people do tend to be the kind of people who haven't got on well at school and so need to learn in that slightly different way, that on a one-to-one basis, you can accommodate their quirks a lot easier than you can do in a group setting.
It's funny you should mention that, actually, because one of the things that has cropped up the more that as the course has gotten more popular, especially since it's been accredited, one of the things I've noticed, and it's so obvious, but you just reminded me that because we are creatives, we don't really want to do the corporate thing, which is running a business. And actually, I think that's one of the things that I've honed with the course is really laying the foundations of let's think about running a business, and we're going to add the VO thing on top. And actually, I think it helps people, because I do believe, but I'm a bit of a purist like this, but I do believe if you can get that down, you can train the VO talent, natural, your talent, you can train your voiceover talent, or lack of, possibly. But the mindset of running a business, you really have to kind of get your head around that and do the corporate thing to get to do the creative.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the big things, one of the big differences. I mean, it's a conversation that I've had many times, and I think we've probably mentioned it on the podcast in the past as well, is one of the big differences between being an actor and being a voiceover is that when you're a voiceover, you are finding your own work. And if you have an agent, which isn't essential, they may get you 20-30% of the work that you do. And so you have to, as a voiceover, be running your own business a lot more than you would do as an actor. I am kind of guessing a little bit because it's not my area of expertise, but I'm guessing that the actors will lean on their agents a lot more for the marketing and for a lot of the ways that they're kind of running a business. And so on that instance, if you are coming into voiceovers from the acting side, there is a whole new learning curve. It's not just the discipline of using the microphone. It is the discipline of running a business, which a lot of people don't realise that being a voiceover is a business.
Yeah. It's funny you should say that, actually, because one of the first things I say, because I offer a free consultation, right? Because it's really important. You've got to meet me, you've got to like me, and I've got to like you. Otherwise, there's no point. And one of the first things I say, because one of the first questions is, do I need an agent? Can I get an agent? And I say, for transparency, I'm on my 4th agent, 7 years in, and I've had 0 jobs from any agent in my whole career.
Wow.
I have got every single job myself. There are a limited amount of voiceover jobs. It is an oversaturated market. There's loads of VOs and there's loads of agents. So you have to be willing to kind of do that. And I say, get the idea out of that you need an agent, or that you could even get one, shake it away. It's going to be an additional benefit to your career, obviously, but that is not where you want to be focusing your energy. Let's get the other stuff down.
I think it is often missed, and I think, again, I see it with the website clients, not always, because I do work with a lot of people that are experienced voices, but certainly people that are newer at it. There's a misconception that you can get a website and then suddenly work will just fall into your lap, and that's the end of the process, when actually the website is the start of your marketing. And that's what you use to then market yourself. It's like you can't just expect people to fall across a website and book you and hire you. You still have to do the work. And I think that concept of running your own business, it is not what we creatives necessarily want to do. It's not what we enjoy always. Yeah,
it is a complete oxymoron, really, and it does go against the grain. But even the website, which is just absolutely wonderful. Somebody absolutely wonderful helped design my website.
I wonder who that was.
It was really amazing. But even a website, a really small percentage of my jobs come from my website. What I kind of try and explain to people, it's a bit like your furniture being pointed at your telly. That's your website, it's your telly. Yes. And when you're marketing, it's like, look at this, look at this, look at this. It's that central
signpost
where everything else.
Exactly. And it's really refreshing to hear someone talk like that from the start of people's careers, because we all know there are those snake oil salesmen out there that don't make it obvious and just, it's fine. There's loads of work. You can do this and you can book. It's not the case. And it's even more so now than it was 5-10 years ago. But I've noted a huge change in the dynamic of the industry, and I've only been in it for 7 years, but I've recently had someone that's just signed up to do my course. And one of the first things he said was, well, can you guarantee that you'll get me work? And I just thought,
Well, no, absolutely not. And it's not the mentality that I had with any training. It's the risk you take, right? And I said, well, ultimately, I can tell you, this is the path I took. Do this, 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 and this. If you don't go and do it, and you don't have the right level of ability and talent in the actual service you're marketing, then no, I can't guarantee that at all.
Yeah.
Even if they could replicate two of them, they are different people and they will be doing things, they will have different life circumstances. They will never have a carbon copy of the same path that you did. It's impossible to do that. So, well, that's a good red flag for anybody looking at any coaching or any style of service. If anybody guarantees an income because of my course, blah, 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 run a mile.
Run away. Yeah.
I did say that. I said, that I am not going to even promise you that anything at all. The only thing I can promise is that I can take your money and teach you what I know. I can promise that.
That's good. It's good. So in terms of your voiceover and the work that you do with your voice, what are your specialisms? What floats your boat?
My specialisms. Well, it's funny because what I realised over the years is the industry will tell you what your specialisms are, right?
Yeah.
So especially coming from a background nowhere near this, I didn't know what I'd be cast for. I didn't know what my money voice would be and stuff like that. And it has changed over the years. When I first came in, first few years was heavy on the corporate, which is, great because that pays the bills as far as I'm concerned. In-store was mental. I loved my in-store. I loved doing my Sainsbury's. It's not a sore subject. I didn't fall out with the company that got me the job or anything like that. And so in-store and corporate for the first few years, as well as the odd kind of commercial. But I have to say, predominantly over the past 4 years, radio and commercial work. I do so many local radio ads. I love it. It's the worst paid. I just love it. And, I can just jump in within I think it was within I had an email the other day. Can you see to this script at some point later today? And I'd had it recorded and back to them within about 4 minutes. And I just love that. And I love it, So commercial work, I'm pretty heavy on at the minute, which I'm really grateful for because, let's not beat around the bush. The money's excellent.
Is there anything else that you have your sights set on that you would love to do that you've
There is actually. So for a long time, I have, I guess, sort of suffered from an arm of imposter syndrome and thought, I'm very much a voice over. I don't think I'm a voice actor. I've never tested my acting ability in the realm of gaming, for example, character work, that sort of thing, which is silly because that's really the premise in which I got into voiceover because I'm good at, becoming other voices. But I think where I had such success, I guess, doing variants of my natural voice, that's just where I've gone into. But I've got my eyes set on, in fact, I've got a meeting next week with a real production company and I'm going to go for some gaming. Cool. And I don't quite know how it looks yet, but like the narration style of VOs that appear in gaming. And in fact, a lot of voice actors who play AIs in gaming and the narration type, I think that's really what I'm going to hone in to initially dip my toe in the water of gaming.
Sure.
And then I'm going to look at doing some hardcore training with a coach in a studio and just give it a go, I think I just need to stop being a wuss.
Well, I mean, you're a busy lady as well.
Well, okay, granted, I guess so. I'm a little bit busy.
Give yourself some credit for that.
But I really want to look into gaming. I also think, and I don't like to give too much airtime to what I'm about to say, but in light of AI coming, I think gaming is going to be one of the hardest things for AI to catch because, it just will be, I believe. And I just think it'll be a good time to get in.
So thinking, kind of staying with your kind of voiceover work, but kind of switching to your coaching, you have mentioned a couple of times that you have accreditation for your coaching courses.
Have I told you that?
Can you kind of tell us what that is, what it means for the people who are hiring you to coach them, and what it means to you as well to have that accreditation?
I was having a business strategy meeting last year because I'm not one for sitting still. And it was floated to me when I was having this meeting, you should look at getting your course accredited. The content looks really good. It's really structured. And that way you can sell it to institutions, right? Art colleges, unis, schools, that sort of thing, because it's seen as a qualification ultimately. And I thought, I'm going to look into that. So I did. And I started the process at the beginning of, was it the end of last year, the beginning of this year? And it was really funny because my course itself is 4 modules, and I teach a module and then I teach the next and don't move on till they've kind of got it. And it is really in the order in which I learnt how to get into the industry, because I do think that's quite important. And I've got, I guess, quite a unique way of teaching it. And it wasn't that formal, to put it politely. Informative, but maybe not totally formal. Well, the process in which getting accredited is very formal. So I had to really kind of finalize a lot of even just the paperwork and stuff like that, the handouts. And I had to look at, right, well, what's the learning objective for this module? What's the learning outcome for this module? And how can I assess it? And that's not really that had all been stuff done that was verbal between me and whoever I'm teaching, but suddenly I had to formalize it into documents and that sort of thing. So I spent many months doing that. And then what you do is you present your course to CPD, which are one of the biggest recognized governing bodies of accreditation in the United Kingdom. And they effectively do the course and see if it adds educational value to you. And so that's how it happened. And I guess the thing that it's what I wanted to do, I didn't, need to make myself busier than I already am. But I thought, I know that what I'm teaching is really valuable. But in a sea of everybody saying, I'm doing something valuable, I wanted to go, no, I am actually. And what that looked like is practicing what I preach, which is invest in yourself and learn all the time. So I had to invest quite a hefty amount of money into becoming accredited. I had to learn some new processes and new skills to do so. And I wanted to be the UK's first and only accredited voiceover business course, because I'm not cheap to work with, right? And as a consumer of lots of learning that I've done, if I'm going to hand over my hard-earned money, I want to know, well, what am I actually getting from you that I'm not getting from you who can charge me a third? And I think being accredited gives people that, oh, okay, she probably does know what she's talking about, So I really wanted to stand out from the crowd. And I guess just for myself, I didn't do well at school at all. I was pregnant at 16 with my son. I don't have any A-levels. I didn't really do very well academically. And I thought, what a turn of the tables if I can now be the one actually producing learning content. And so I guess for a personal reason, I just thought, I'm not completely thick as the archaic school system in the United Kingdom has made me believe.
I mean, huge congratulations for getting it accredited, because I don't even actually want to think about how much time was involved in having to do some of those loopholes of
And also I guess because voiceover it's getting something accredited if you are coming from like an academic place, of content, like I don't know, if say you're learning French or something, it's very easy to slot it into the process that they need it, even the admin that they need to be like, well, here's a questionnaire that you fill out and this, that and the other. But with voiceover, it's much more challenging to fit it into those pegs, really. But no, I am super proud of myself, and
I think you absolutely deserve to be. I think it's an amazing thing that you've produced. Genuinely, I think it's ace. It's a kind of a question that we had planned to ask you anyway, but it leads nicely on about your own ADHD and autism diagnoses. And I know they were adult diagnoses. From what you've said already, I'm guessing that it helps you see the world slightly differently. How do you think that's impacted both of like your VO career and your coaching?
I think the only one of the main predominant reasons that I have had success within this industry is because I'm on the spectrum. because I'm able to segregate the various hats that are needed. And going back to that business mentality, I will have marketing Mondays. And unless I'm booked for something, then I am doing marketing on that day. And there's no two ways about it, because that's my autism saying, well, you can't deviate from the rules. You know, that's what you're doing. And for me, and a lot of people on the spectrum, when you get an idea about something, if it ignites the fire in you, you're not going to stop until you're doing it. And for me, I think I've just been really fortunate that I found work in that. And that is my voiceover stuff. Like, I just love being a voiceover. I love it. If I get, you know, a local radio ad for 30 quid, I get just as excited at an email coming through for that than if I've done like a national TV campaign. I really do. So I think on an emotional level, I think everything's just a bit heightened when you're on the spectrum. So if you love something, you're going to love the shit out of it. And I do with voiceover. And I just think, because I love it so much, I will do the bits that are harder and boring to keep access to getting the good bits. And for me, the love of it is the catalyst. And I've not experienced that, you know, in any of my working life before this. I liked helping people before, and I got a different satisfaction from that. But this, I think when you do something that you are naturally good at, and I'm not the best voiceover in the world, because I'm not, but I'm all right, I'm quite good. I mean, you do something you're naturally good at, it just makes such a difference to your life.
Yes.
Especially for someone like me who's found everything really hard. You know, suddenly it's like, oh, okay, I'm not broken, I can do something, do it good. So for, you know, I think my spectrum condition, I don't even know if I'm allowed to call it a condition, diagnoses, is why I'm having success. I really do put it down to that.
We know that you're open about talking about your diagnosis. Have clients or others in the industry reacted positively, negatively? Is it impacted that at all, or is it?
Well, it's really funny, actually. So I am really open about it, because if I'd have had a me when I was much younger, I wouldn't have had a lot of the difficulties that I did have. And you know, I don't want to bang on about it because it's not a woe me story, but life's pretty tricky when you're undiagnosed on the spectrum, right? And if I'd have had somebody like me, my story would have been very different. Better, maybe not, but it would have been very different. So I just think, if I can be that version of what I might have needed, then I will be. And you would not believe, daily, I am inundated from people in our industry, colleagues, close friends, who question me about the possibility that they think they might be on the spectrum because they resonated with what I've shared. And there's a couple of people that have gone and actually got diagnosis off the back of my sharing stuff. And I think that that's really special that I've been able to help in that. So I only receive positive feedback from our industry as a whole. However, and really weird, there's been 2 occasions in conjunction with each other, which I did not cope well with this month. 2 very big jobs. In fact, the 2 biggest jobs that I've yet got in my career, and they happened at the same time. So thank you very much, universe. Lovely. And both of them had some crap going on with when the next recording was going to be, when the pay was going to come, what the invoice should be. There was just lots of weird stuff, and a lot of stuff had happened backwards to how I normally do it.
Right.
For example, I wouldn't normally go and record in a studio for a big campaign unless the contract had been signed. That didn't happen, but I had to just sort of hope it would work out, which it did. And then there was quite a large radio campaign being used out of license, and I had to prove that it was in fact being used out of license. So it was all very difficult. And in my communication with my clients, I could tell that I was pissing them off. And it looks, I guess, without the knowledge of my autism and ADHD, it can look like I'm just being a right pain in your ass, and I'm hounding you, and I want this and I want this, when actually it derives from a place of quite crippling anxiety of the unknown. And I've not had to divulge to clients, I'm not, on your case because I want you to be irritated with me. it comes from the fact that I'm autistic and I find the unknown really, really challenging. And I had to say that twice because the tone of some of the emails that I was getting back was quite curt.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that's quite sad that I've had to say that. But then as soon as I'd said it, I worried. I thought, oh, they might not use me again. And not because I'm being annoying, but because I'm on the spectrum. And I know that's a terrible thing to think, but the knowledge around spectrum conditions, especially women like myself, is so skewed that my instinctive thing was, they're going to think I'm flawed in some way and they probably won't use me again. And it was really sad. But quite frankly, the issues that was going on, I would have actually rather have said at the time, keep your job, keep the money. And you're talking thousands upon thousands of pounds, because the unknown is that unbearable for somebody like me. And it was a bit of a sad, it really ruined the, phenomenal gigs that I'd got, because they were both the biggest, actually gigs of my career to date. And they were completely shrouded. And then I had to say, oh, I'm not meaning to be annoying, I'm autistic. That's what I felt like I was doing. So that was a bit shit. But one of them kind of just didn't really respond, which was fine. And then the other one, I think she must have experience of someone in her family, maybe, because she actually came back to me and she said, I've got a really clear picture now of what's going on. Thank you for telling me. And I will endeavour to email you every other day.
Oh, that's lovely.
Until we have this resolved. And I was really taken aback. And I thought, oh, wow, okay. Oh, because I've not been put in that situation. But she was really kind and she has done that.
That's really an amazing response to get.
It was. I was really taken
cool.
aback.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that we just kind of, in saying that, automatically presume that they must have had experience with another family member or another friend or someone, these things. And I love why you talk about it, because the more people understand these conditions that so many people have, they are not rare. The better the world will be at working with each other. And yeah, there's so much that's...
And I mean, ultimately, a lot, especially, I guess, people similar to me, there's a lot of suffering in silence that goes on, and you don't have to start shouting from the rooftops that you think you're on the spectrum because you've seen this random woman online that is. But sometimes just knowing, like, oh, okay, it's not just me. Yeah. Sometimes that's enough to stop the despair, so I do think it's important.
I agree. And yeah, that community, that knowing you're not alone. Yeah, whatever it is that you're dealing with, it's good to have people that have your back and can relate. And yeah, so yeah, I do really admire how and why you talk about your issues, because I think, you've already said it's proven to help other people, and that giving back I think is lovely.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what area that is, because when my daughter had her brain tumour a couple of years ago, I joined loads of support groups for that. And I found, funnily enough, well, it's not funny at all, is it, brain tumours, but whatever. Might as well laugh. Why wouldn't my daughter have a brain tumour? I mean, everything else happens. Because of my autism, I thought, right, how can I structure this mess? And I did. And I structured the shit out of the whole process, to the point that I wrote her down a timeline of what was going to happen, when it was going to happen, and what it would look like. And I utilised all the experience I have of working with people on the spectrum, because whether you're on the spectrum or not, most spectrum stuff works for the general public really well. And actually, I'm still, my daughter's fit and healthy, and she had her brain tumour removed a couple of years ago, and she's 100% excellent and back to her crazy self like me. But I'm still part of all of these support groups, because and it's really sad to still be in them, because lots of these children have passed away and things. But I have something that worked for our situation, and I can help other parents when they are like, what do we do? And I go, you could try this. It might not be for you, but you could try it. And it has helped lots of people. So I just think, if you have a story of adversity, no matter what it is, someone else is sitting there thinking, I can't believe this is only happening to me. And if you just speak out, then you're just going to make such a difference to someone.
I love that you give back so much, Lizzie. I really do.
Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Lizzie. This has been
thank you, guys.
Absolute.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure, as
great.
always, chatting to you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right, I'm stopping the recording. Don't say anything sensible anymore.
Okay.
You've been listening to the VoiceOver Social podcast, hosted by Rob B and Helen B from BEE.
Sponsored by
thevoicefinder.com
and BEE.
Thank you to our guest,
Lizzie Jobling
from
elizabethjobling.com.
And the following socials are coming up. Bristol on Friday the 18th of July, the Pint and Rabbit online social on Friday the 18th of July, Helsinki on Wednesday the 22nd of July, Oxford on Saturday the 2nd of August, Manchester on Saturday the 13th of September, Kent on Friday the 26th of September, and Paris on Saturday the 27th of September.
All audio production by Rob B. Please like, subscribe and leave a review to help more voiceover people find us.
And if you want to email us, it's listen@thevosocial.com.
See you next month.
The VoiceOver Social.